let's hop right back into it. That was much needed. Need some water. Need a snack. That type of thing. I just noticed a lot of tulips around here. It's a nice little gypsy wagon, but the road calls. I need to go out and replace all these half slabs with stone, just regular stone half slabs. Maybe cobblestone as well. Break it up a little bit. Make it look real nice. This is one of the small little satellite towns. Lichtenberg, a German style logging town. I thought it was pretty cool. It's got a neat little crane here, small little rows of produce. This is where they kind of harvest the the forest. I need to come up with a name for this place. Maybe like August and Sons, something like that. But it's good stuff. I like how it came out. And it's another good example of the wagon design that I've made. Now, of course, I played a lot of this world in the John Smith's Legacy texture pack. So a building like this looks so much better in that texture pack. The wool actually looks like proper wattle and daub. And it does look rather nice. But it's pretty basic. Does its job, does what it needs to do. Maybe the end rods are a little bit much, but yeah. Can't complain. Now before it gets nighttime, I want to get to High Rock, which is that in the distance. I might cut it a little close, but I'm willing to risk it. I do love the Minecraft music. It's very peaceful. Damn, where to put the horse? So this is High Rock. The Whisper Wind. It's a nice little inn. Does exactly what you need an inn to do. We're going to use it as such. One of my more compact builds, actually. It's very nice, I think. 2 rooms, small inn. And I do need to build this place up a little bit more, but the vast majority of this is that this is a natural piece of land here. This just rising out amongst the landscape. This it's not really a plateau. It's just kind of like a small little peak. And I decided it was the perfect place to put a small little village. And of course that's what I did. And it's complete with its own well and its own small little town, actually. And it's just rather nice. I'm really happy with how it's turned out. You can see Lichtenberg from here, and Lichtenberg can see this place. But it's one of the smaller towns. And of course, Atlas is right over there, so it's across the ocean bridge. And we'll go there. But it's pretty small, pretty basic. I should actually update this map. Make sure it's updated. Yeah. I'm going to show that off too. That's a really nice little build. That's what the lighthouse is. But all these are really nice compact houses. I need to do a little bit of furniture in here. For the most part, it's looking real nice. And this is an Atlas satellite town. So Atlas owns this, Atlas owns Lichtenberg, but Vervock Bridge is neutral. So we might wage a war for that at some point. Yeah. Well, I would like to add maybe a building maybe right here if I can help it. Maybe a building right here. Boy, Zephyr is just right next to the edge. This kind of used to be a gate. Kind of the remnants are there. There's a nice wall kind of stopping things from getting in. I mean, the idea is that High Rock used to be maybe a more vibrant little town, but now it's kind of fallen into something smaller. And of course the lighthouse is over there. It's a very basic lighthouse, just a ladder going up to a, I think that's actually a campfire. And of course, High Rock has its own dock, so small ships can actually come right in here, and I might need to widen it, but for the most part, I think it's pretty good. That's weird. Yeah, it's a campfire. Again, doesn't really need to be anything fancy, it just needs to work. Small little house. Does everything the Lightkeeper needs it to be. No storage in here. Basically to light the way. I was originally going to build this lighthouse on this island here, but I thought it would be a little too confusing for boats to make it into this mouth right here. So I made it here instead. I think it was a good decision. Now let's see if I get off this boat, will I be able to actually... There we go. Perfect. I should add a small little building down here too. Maybe I'll show off the sewer system in Atlas. Okay, try not to suffocate my horse here. That'll be good. Good stuff. I'll show off the bandit camp here too. So this is all natural here, including this small little opening. And I thought what was perfect about it is that you can have a small little bandit camp almost completely hidden. Hidden by the landscape naturally. And it's really rather nice. Complete with its own loot. Its own little water source, beds, campfire. Really nice. I'm really happy with how this turned out. This is one of those little things that really makes the world just kind of feel more open. There you are. I manually cut through this whole area. That leads to a small campsite. Actually, we'll be able to show that off too. Small little campsite. I probably would put down a little bit more grass. Make it seem like nobody's been here for a while. Kind of forgotten. Maybe turn these into stone stairs. Why'd you get all the way down here? Is this sign? Yeah. Beware of travelers have attacked along road northward. Yeah, 1.14 kind of messed up a lot of my signs. Because this, how signs work changed, there's less space to use more words now. So a lot of my signs are messed up, which sucks because there's a lot of them. Northwind Bridge. This was a fun build to make. Right below us is, well, I mean, of course you probably saw it, the railway. That railway leads to a frontier-like mining facility. This is weird. Am I crouching when I'm in here? Can't tell. Oh well. That is weird. That is new. That definitely didn't happen before. Oh well. So these are the wheat fields of Atlas. It took forever to hand plant this. And there's no water here either. So if I were to actually harvest all of this, chances are a lot of this farmland would revert back to soil. But of course, you know, comes with the territory. Over there, I do plan on making a giant fallow field. So I kind of plan on making it with coarse dirt and gravel. Because every massive farmland like this, I mean, all this is going to be wheat too, and there's going to be some wheat stretching down that way as well. Wheat for the motherland. But every big field needs a fallow field too. 3-point rotation. Realism. And we got its own nice little barn complete with wheat. I think inside these chests there's plenty of hay bales. Yeah. It's good stuff. And of course that's Atlas. We've been there. I should show this place off too. So this, of course, is going to be the ruins of Old Atlas, the original city before the main city was built, at least when it comes to lore. And I plan on building this up much, much more, and making it into a sort of beginner's dungeon. So you'd go into the complex, and you'd get loot, you'd get enchanted armor, and some food, and some potions, and it'd basically be a beginner dungeon to help you get a little bit more kitted out as you start. For the most part, I mean, it's kind of the outside that's a little detailed. It's really run down. There's probably going to be a few chests in there, and it's actually kind of dangerous to get in there. So a lot of it's collapsed. But little touches here and there. And of course, for the beginner, you have these tents outside, complete with its own campsite. Over here is Needlebreak Harbor, Atlas's main harbor. Complete with a real nice Real nice warehouse. I actually really enjoy how this came out. So of course they ship and take in a whole lot of stuff. It's really nice. I should show off the architecture. I just decided to try and do something new with this architecture. It's a little bit different, but I think it pulls off pretty nice. Of course, we have the docks, and I will show that off. Don't you worry. But this is Fort Anvil. That's actually the date where I made it. I don't even know if that's the right abbreviation for erected. But this fort is made with actual defense in mind. A small group of players could hold this fort off, providing players can't mine stuff. If they can't mine anything, then yeah, this would really hold players off. If you could, like, if it takes a whole bunch of time to actually like get through doors and stuff. If you had basic siege mods, then I'm sure. But you'd have to break through this. All the while, these guys would be able to shoot you through these arrow loops. And of course, another nice defense is once you got these doors open, there's more arrow loops. Of course, the people behind these would be kind of sacrifice people. Because, I mean, they'd come right down here and just slash you down. For the most part, yes. Then you have murder holes where they drop... Well, actually, I can go ahead and show that off. I like to think these would be filled with hot oil. You got cobble. Drop it through the holes onto their heads. Kill them. Easy stuff. Then you have my... what I believe to be a decent looking cannon. So of course you have one facing the harbor itself, so no ship in this harbor is safe. And you have another cannon facing outwards towards the main entry point of this harbor. So any ship kind of coming into this harbor, either way they would probably be making a loop around it, so they would have to come back past this. So they would probably get shot. And of course, it's really made with defense in mind, because you come up here and you have more arrow slits where you can shoot down onto the harbor itself, even out to here, and basically just block that off. Plenty of supplies for sieges, and even up here, further defensive capabilities with more ability to shoot onto the harbor from all angles too. And of course I use the note blocks as crates, even though I could replace these with barrels now and that would actually be better. I really need to make more barrels. Really nice decorative block. But yeah, that's Fort Anvil. My attempt at an actual defensible fort. Now let's show off, well, that road will eventually head east. It kind of goes through the taiga, and once it hits the snow plains, it kind of just ends. But my plan is to take that all the way to the east, to a city on the coast, and then eventually a sea route that leads to the island nation, which I'll go over later in the future. But this is actually a ship that I did not spawn in, but I rather built myself, and this is evident because of just how big it is. It could be better, but honestly I think I made a real nice attempt at how good this boat really is. Don't have a name for it yet. I'm sure I'll come up with something. It's a real nice sailing ship. I wonder what I could call this. Maybe a privateer. I'll show off something neat about it. No, I didn't build it in this ship. It's in another ship. But it's got a real nice cargo hold. It's got a real nice spot for future beds, future kitchen, and I'll eventually set that up in the ship. But I'm really happy with how this ship came out. It's really nice underwater too. Again, made with John Smith's Legacy texture pack in mind. This looks a whole lot better in that texture pack. But yeah. Oh, I should show off one thing. So, that lighthouse is on its own island, but you don't necessarily need to use a boat to get to it. That's right. There's a secret tunnel that leads under the ocean. And it's actually a surprising distance away. And at a certain point here, yeah, there's actually a decent cavern here too. Eventually I do plan on exploring that. This is a point where the ocean tried to come in. And this leads right up to the lighthouse. Really rather nice here. So you don't actually have to use a ship. I mean, of course you can, but in case of a siege, you really don't want to be in a small little rowboat when big ships are duking it out with cannons. You're kind of easy pickings at that point. And this is one of the more detailed lighthouses. Lots of nice supports in it. Some mossy stone brick to give it some real nice detail. I do like that the mossy stone brick is a little bit more green in the updated texture pack for Minecraft. Because in the default one, it's kind of like a sad green. I don't much like it. I do need to actually decorate this lighthouse. Yeah, there's not even beds in here yet. Perhaps we'll do that at some point. Of course, this is the main way up. Fire's so loud. We have a real nice commanding view of practically everything. Oh, you don't... Well, thank you, Feather Falling. I think we'll just go ahead and swim. I do like the swimming animation. It is rather nice. There we are. And that's Needlebreak Harbor. A lot of the houses are kind of the same. I think this is the only house that's kind of different just because it kind of goes into the mountain here, or into the hill. So it's got its own, like, kegs. Of course, I could revamp that now with the barrels and actually make it into a proper keg. Oh, I should actually show this off too. We'll use this small little boat here. So the interesting thing is, on a smaller boat, you can actually go all the way to Atlas because I drudged all of this out. And this is an example of a nice detailed bridge, but you would never actually see it unless you're going under it. But yeah, I made this nice and... Ooh, there's a chunk error. But nice, deep enough for a nice little rowboat. Or a smuggler, depending on your depending on your, what's the word, disposition? Yeah. Kind of takes you right up to the ruins of old Atlas. That's going to be a fun build when I get around to it, turning that into a proper dungeon. It's not going to be a mini dungeon either, it's going to be a big proper dungeon with proper loot at the end. There we go, we picked up some speed here. This is kind of the Atlas docks. Let's head on in. Close the portcullis. And go to sleep. Very nice. I just love this though. It's just so satisfying. I actually show off the redstone here. It's not that complicated actually. Do want to light that up because I feel like mobs would spawn in there and I don't want that. But yeah, not that complicated redstone. I don't think I actually have access to it inside. But it's basically kind of reverse redstone from the top down. So it's not much different. But I should go ahead and show off the sewers. The last thing I'll do a tour of is actually showing off the sewers. Yes. So, there's several ways we can actually get down into the sewers. There's one right there. There's one over there somewhere. That's kind of the secret one. There's one right around here. But the main way to get into sewers is, of course, the main way that the aqueduct carries the water into the city. So this is where you can get all the water that you need. It actually took a real lot of time to get all the bricks and all the clay for this, but it was heavily worth it. And this, of course, leads into the sewers. Because you can't have a massive city like this without proper sewers. Of course, you just know there's going to be enemies down here too, so I have to be careful. And I've been working slowly but surely into kind of dungeon-esque qualities here. Right here is where all the water kind of flows down into this. Whoa. Hello there, creeper. You gonna come up so I can shoot you? Or are you gonna fall down? Probably gonna fall down. Yeah, you fell down. You don't get to, sorry. Good. But the idea is that this giant ravine here, all the water flows down into it, and eventually I might fill this in more and more to simulate more water flowing in. But this is kind of like the sewer breaking into this giant chasm here, and there used to be, I mean, it used to be built up more, and now you just kind of have these things you got to jump on to get in. A nice ruined effect, because nobody from the city really comes down here, so of course it's kind of fallen in disrepair, and eventually it'll start backfiring, because, you know, all that water can't infinitely go down there. And you got this small little nice room here, complete with some treasure. Maybe add to it a little bit. And of course you got this. So you got a little delayed button there. And that's the only way to get into this room too. You can look into it here, but you got to figure out actually how to go around and get into it. For the most part, this is the sewers. That's one way to get down. And it's not just one layer sewer either. It's going to go down another layer too. And of course a sewer wouldn't be a sewer without proper sluice gates. So you could, well, in role-playing, manipulate the water flow. In practice, not so much. I mean, maybe I'm sure I could if this was all going downhill, but for the most part, not really. But it does look rather nice. And of course the next level down, still a work in progress. Do need to light that up. It is quite dark here. But I do plan on having this going in all the different directions too. Maybe this actually taking a turn going that way after a while. Trying not to follow the same path above it. But for the most part, yes. It's looking very nice. Now, of course, no sewer is complete without a devious crime group in it. And of course, you know, numerous games has given me inspiration to do this. But if you come over here, you have, I mean, water coming in here, and this kind of leads into a this leads into someone's basement, a little wine cellar. What's interesting about this is that this leads right into the sewers. And of course you have another broken pane here. I should really go ahead and light this up. So of course you can actually get in here as well, but you have to make it across here somehow. And then you'd be able to bust your way through here. And into the sewers you could come. And of course, we have the Thieves Guild. Well, it's not really the Thieves Guild, but it is a dubious sector. I need to do a lot of work on this place. Still not even close to being done. This is kind of the bare bones of it all. The idea of this is this was like a part of the sewer, and the thieves just kind of took it over, and now there's just organized crime here. Where is it? There it is. See, in John Smith's Legacy, this is a giant dragon picture, and you just go right through the dragon in order to come up, and that goes right into one of the houses. And of course, a dubious group like this wouldn't be complete without having its very own back door in a small, ominous inn. Yes. So this is the Thieves Guild Inn. This is kind of where homeless people live. Because every city's kind of gonna have that. I mean, outside you have all the kind of the peasant houses down that way, but of course inside the city you gotta have squalor. It's just so satisfying. So satisfying. So of course the sewers, still need to work on them, still need to add a little bit of detail after it's done. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with this. I think I might turn these into catacombs. I think that was the original idea here. But I need to fix this because these, of course, you know, light up everything. And this is under the... I think this is under the train station. So we'll turn those into catacombs. There's already some nice catacomby architecture here. Definitely could do something there. And of course I think I'll end things today, since it's been almost 30 minutes now, maybe. Actually it's been 40 minutes since I came back from that break. So we'll show off the train station. It's going to require a lot of work to connect all of these lines to the various cities that I plan on building and have built. A lot of projects in this world. And each one of these lines is going to head off in direction upon direction. And it's really going to come together because not only can we teleport to some of the more major cities, but I plan on just having railways to the smaller cities and maybe towns. I think it's going to be this one right here that's going to go far to the west, to the point where I found a 1.14 village, and I've already made the railway infrastructure to get to it. I just need to lay down the rails and powered rails. But yeah, real nice train station. Yes, it's a gold quarry. More like blasted quarry. I just basically stuck a whole bunch of TNT into the ground and just blew a giant hole into the ground. It was very nice though. Complete with its own garden. I do need to spruce this up a little bit, make some bushes here and there, maybe make a bench or two. Really turn it into a nice garden, but it's really nice. I really rather like this. And I think with that, well, this is an example of black cherry trees. These are should be birch leaves and dark oak, which really gives it a nice black cherry look. And of course, if you didn't see it before, there's a whole black cherry forest right outside the city. And I think we'll end it in this forest. It's got some nice detail to it. Some old ancient foundations with a little few secrets. I do need to expand this forest a little bit outwards into this plains. Of course, I mean this was all plains as well, but it really came along quite nicely. I'm really happy with how this forest came out. It's so tedious too, because each of these blocks is hand placed, and each of those leaves is hand placed in a very specific pattern. So it really took some nice tedious detailing to get this to look as good as it does right now. Huh. But yeah, I think I'll call the stream right there. Thanks for watching if you watched. Feel free to give feedback if you have any, but if not, I'm glad you watched, glad you enjoyed it if you did. Take care until we see again. Or we see again. I'll have to come up with a better outro. Well, it's the second stream. Lots of improvement. Anyways, take care.